Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Growth, and I have a story for you called Homes for Animals. And before we read that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what plants need versus what animals need. This week, we are learning about the life cycle of a butterfly, and we're thinking about what butterflies need. And so, would a butterfly be a plant or would a butterfly be an animal? That's right. A butterfly is an animal. It is an insect, which is part of the animal world. Animals need to survive. They need a home. They need shelter, a place to be safe from predators. They need food. They need water to drink, and they need air to breathe. So butterflies would take shelter in a tree, maybe under a leaf, away from birds and predators. The food that a butterfly would have would be the nectar that is in a flower. And before the butterfly becomes a butterfly, what is it, boys and girls? It's a caterpillar, that's right. And we know that it might be a very hungry caterpillar. So it'll be looking for leaves and berries and fruits and things to help it grow big and strong so it can make the metamorphosis into a butterfly. It also needs, water, liquids to drink so it can stay hydrated just like we do, and we do as well. And it needs air to be able to breathe. So that's why if you do catch an insect, it's important to make sure that it's in a container that has air, that we don't close off all the air, because without air we can't survive. So you want to make sure that your bug jar or your bug catcher, that it has some holes in it so air can get in and keep that creature alive while you observe it for just a little bit. And then we want to release. We want to catch and release. We want to set it free and let it get back to living and enjoy it in nature, okay? What do plants need to survive? Plants need sunshine, because sun is how plants create their own food. They need soil so that way the roots can have a place to be stable. And we learned last week that the roots pull the water out of the soil. And it needs water, again, just like we need water, and it needs air as well. All right, so I just wanted to review that with you and think about the difference between what do plants need and what do animals need. And now we are going to read a book called Homes for Animals. Okay, and we're going to learn about some different types of homes. Some animals make small holes in trees to find food and big holes for their home, for a hiding place, because they want to stay safe from predators. Owls, squirrels, and raccoons are animals that make their home in a tree. Some animals have shells that act as their home and protect them from harm. A turtle and snail have a shell, and the shell is attached to their body. The shell grows with the turtle and the snail as they get older. So turtles and snails carry their home around with them all the time. Also, can you think of another animal that carries its home around with them? That's right, a hermit crab. Except their shell does not grow with them like a turtle or a snail. But when their body starts to get too big, what do? That's right, they climb out carefully and they go into a bigger shell. Kind of like sometimes how people, when their house gets a little too small for them, then they are going, they go and get a bigger home to live in. So they have a little bit more space. Sometimes people do that. All right. A den is a cave or a hollow used by an animal for a home, a hiding place, or for safety. Animals like a bear and a fox make their home in a den. Right, so a den or a cave, we have to pay attention to the sounds in the word so we know which word the author has used. A burrow, we learned about burrows when we learned about our groundhog. A burrow is a hole or a tunnel dug into the ground by an animal for a home, safety, or to find food. Animals like a gopher, a groundhog, and a rabbit make their home in a burrow. And remember, we learned some really cool things about the burrows, that they have different rooms. They have a nursery for the babies. They have a sleeping room. Remember, we even learned that they have a special room just for going potty. So they're actually very clean, and they even have the emergency exit. I found a burrow outside in my backyard, and I saw the two holes for the chipmunk were very close together. So one had to be the entrance, and then one was the escape. So in case a predator was coming or Mrs. Growth was coming, it could escape. And here's our last page. Beavers live in lodges. Lodges are made out of mud, grass, and branches and have underwater entrances. Lodges are built by rivers, lakes, and ponds. So a beaver does not live in a tree. A beaver does not live in a burrow underground, and a beaver does not live in a den or a hollow like some of the other animals. A beaver makes a lodge, which is close to water, because beavers are an animal that like to swim, and they like to find their food in the water. So in order to catch those fish, they have to live nearby. All right, so we learned about some different homes for animals. I want you to think about, what kind of animal did we learn that we might find with a home in a tree? What kind of home, what kind of animal might we find in a home in a burrow? And I want you to think about, what kind of animal might we find in a cave or a den? And you can tell your grown-up, you can tell your brother or sister, you could tell your lovey. But share that information and maybe draw a picture of the type of animal home you liked learning the most about. All right, bye, boys and girls.